Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to hop into the AEW review. No podcast today, but we're gonna talk AEW. It was a good show, and we're gonna hop right on into it. We started with Cody breaking down the TNT title tournament. I really enjoyed this promo to start the show. He talked about complacency and how none of the guys had complacency. And I thought it was a really good way to put some hype into the TNT title tournament. Job well done by Cody. The first match we had was Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin. We started off with this. I gotta say, I was very surprised by it. But you know what? I liked it. Get your workhorses in there to start the show. I enjoyed it very much. So we started right out of the blocks with a Sammy Tope over the top, catching Darby off guard, and a sick looking ladder spot as well from Sammy. And I gotta say, I enjoyed this match very much. We had some limb targeting in this match, and I gotta say, Darby Allin pulls off Sammy Guevara's boot, and you know what? We have an exposed foot, and Darby Allin goes right for it. And I gotta say that, you know what? I appreciate that. I wasn't expecting limb targeting from this match, but you know what? It is a welcome surprise. At the end of the day, Darby Allin picks up the victory. Totally the right call here. Darby Allin, future star. And you know what? I am hoping that Darby Allin goes on to win this tournament. We shall see how it all turns out. Next up, we had the Broken Matt Hardy promo, and he talked about how he wanted Jericho for a match at the Hardy compound, and said that Jericho didn't respond, and he turned his attention, since Jericho wouldn't respond, turned his attention to Sammy Guevara. And I gotta say, it would be interesting if we got a Matt Hardy Sammy Guevara match. Some kind of cinematic match leading up to Jericho and Matt Hardy, or a regular match at all with Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara. That would be great as well. This led to Mortal Matt Hardy, shall I say, talking about how Jericho wanted to create chaos and he wasn't gonna let that happen. We shall see what happens with Matt Hardy going forward, whether it's Sammy Guevara or Chris Jericho. I would love to see either matchup. We'll see. Moving on, we had the Taz technique. I gotta say, this is turning into one of my favorite things about AEW. Very quickly, the Taz technique videos. I talked about the V trigger and the Snapdragon last night, and just well done, Taz, the master of the suplex. Great in-ring analysis. Keep these videos coming, AEW. Great job. Moving on, we had Kenny Omega versus Alan Angels, and I gotta say that, you know what? I thought that this was gonna be a squash match, and man, I gotta say, Alan Angels got in a lot of offense, and Alan Angels looked pretty good. I gotta say that I enjoyed this matchup. Obviously, the result wasn't in question. Kenny Omega picks up the victory. Multiple V triggers picks up the victory there, and Alan Angels looked good. You know what? I hope they continue to give this guy a chance on the roster moving forward. So after that, we got a Scorpio Sky segment, and I gotta say that this was tremendously well done. Talked about how he always had a dream to wrestle. He talked about how his story about his bad back and how it healed on its own, and I'm very interested to see where it goes. We got left on a hook. I said to be continued, so it's looking like we will get a part 2 of a Scorpio Sky segment, and you know what? I'm with it. We shall see how it all turns out. And moving on from there, we had a recap of being the Elite 200, an excellent show, shall I say. Matt versus Nick Jackson, excuse me. Tremendous matchup. Just go to YouTube, go check it out. BTE 200. Great show. A lot of callbacks on that show as well. So moving on here, we had Jimmy Havoc versus Orange Cassidy, and Jimmy Havoc was just on the attack early, beating the stuffing out of Orange Cassidy. We had hand biting, we had chops, we had everything. And I gotta say that, you know what, Orange Cassidy made a sweet comeback. I enjoy Orange Cassidy's comebacks. Like, it goes completely counterintuitive to his character when he fires up. And I gotta say that is a very smart idea. I very much like it. So during this match, we had Penelope Ford get involved. The Best Friends got involved. I forget who it was that tripped Penelope Ford, but that set off Kip Sabian. Had a dive over the top there, and eventually Penelope Ford costs Jimmy Havoc the matchup. The feud between Orange Cassidy, the Best Friends, Jimmy Havoc, and Kip Sabian and Penelope, that continues on. We shall see how it all turns out. Orange Cassidy picks up the victory here. Next up, we had MJF. We had his segment, supposedly a serious injury that he had. And, y'all know not to take MJF seriously, man. At the end of the day, the man says he had a hangnail playing poker and that he would try to push through it. I gotta say that this was a pretty funny segment. He had the cast on and everything else. Job well done. Way to keep MJF on TV without him having a match. So job well done to AEW. Job well done to MJF. We'll see where he goes once he eventually comes back into in-ring action. Moving on, we had Wardlow versus Lee Johnson, and this was a squash match. Nothing to see here. Wardlow picks up the victory. I like Lee Johnson, man. He's another one that, I hope gets time to showcase his athletic ability on AEW. Give him some more matches. We'll see how it all turns out. But Wardlow picks up the victory here. Next up, we got a video to which it turned out to be a Dark Order video. We saw a guy getting some bad news from what seemed like a girlfriend, and he submitted in order to join the Dark Order, and whomever this guy was sat in front of Brody Lee. He asked him, did he play football, and eventually he offered him a mask to be in the Dark Order. You know what? They have a lot of people saying that there are Vince McMahon parallels to Brody Lee and what he's doing in AEW, and there was some early on. I don't know if you can make that case here. I hope it doesn't permanently turn into a Vince McMahon portrayal type of deal throughout, but maybe there were some Vince portrayals here. Not really sure, but a solid segment nonetheless from Brody Lee from the Dark Order. And moving on, speaking of Brody Lee, we had Justin Law versus Brody Lee, and this was a squash match. Nothing to see here. Brody Lee picks up the victory, tears apart poor Justin Law, and you know what? I'm ready for Brody Lee to get into a feud, a legitimate feud with somebody. The squash matches have been done really well, but it is time to get into an important feud with Brody, for Brody Lee to get into an important feud, excuse me. Next up, we had the Bubbly Bunch, and I gotta say that this was another segment well done. Sammy Guevara was down on Jake Hager for losing to Jon Moxley. Hager said that it would be on sight when he saw Jon Moxley again. And we had the Flim Flam Challenge, a total rip on these TikTok challenges. I gotta say that this was all so well done, so funny. Sammy Guevara wins the challenge, gets the hand sanitizer. Keep these Bubbly Bunch videos going, AEW. Just a tremendous job. Just keep them going. Keep them going. I love every bit of them. Twitter loves every bit of them. Job well done. So we move on to the main event. We had Kip Sabian versus Dustin, and I gotta say that this one started off really slow. But what I tell you what I did appreciate the most out of this match, Dustin hurts his knee, and you know what? Kip Sabian goes right after it. I appreciate that, man. I am old school, man. I like when a wrestler finds a body part and attacks it. I totally like that. So I enjoyed that part about this match. We had a Brandy Rhodes and Penelope throwdown during this match. At the end of the day, Dustin Rhodes picks up the win with the Destroyer. I'm so glad that the Destroyer wasn't a transitional move for a near fall. Thank God he won with the Destroyer. He threatened to quit if he didn't win this match. I don't know if that stipulation will go on for the rest of the tournament. We'll see. But you know what? Dustin Rhodes can still go in the ring. I hope that he's around with AEW to wrestle, because there's still a lot of matches out there for Dustin Rhodes, and we'll see how it goes, man. Going forward, it will be him and Lance Archer moving on, and I gotta say that I am very excited about that. And man, a decent main event, slow start, but it picked up nonetheless. At the end of the day, Dustin Rhodes picks up the victory. So that is it for the AEW review. You can find me on Twitter at TooSweetPod and at OMG Corey B. Let me know all of your thoughts on this AEW show and this review. Holla at your boy. I am